there's premature locking of the system.
Mhm.
Seemed like it. We have at least one case of this, you know.
And that could happen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
It
I'm
is-
just,
If it could happen electronically, it'll happen to me.
it could happen.
No, and
It
a
happen.
portfolio affirms that, you know, this is a thing that could happen with somebody with sufficient privileges. Only administrator privileges can do it. It's not a faculty user end issue. So,
The faculty member can't lock it themselves, but people with administrative positions can lock. And you know, it comes down to, so let's say, you know, we've got this whole group of things that are there, and we're doing, let's say, advisor evaluation. Advisors don't write papers. So therefore, it could very easily be that the university says, well, wait a second, they don't need to turn in papers, so we're just going to lock that system out, and it's not going to be there for them, right? Which could make perfect sense. However, there also is the possibility that a administrator could lock it for a specific person, intentionally or unintentionally by error.
Yeah.
But when they do that, they lock that particular person out, even though that person may have already uploaded something, but what they uploaded is now hidden from view.
So another administrator, not knowing that there was human error with somebody else, for example, might log in and it looks to them like, wow, this John Cudo faculty member never submitted anything. Guess who's not getting tenure? When the fact remains that the files are there, they're just hidden in this sort of ante room, electronic ante room, basically.
Electronic lockbox or.
Yeah,
or call.
purgatory. Choose your analogy. Yeah, choose your vector. So
Technology, man, it's technology.
You said it happened one time, right?
at least.
And if it happened one time, and if it is human error,
Mhm.
then there's recourse for that.
The recourse is, right now, the university's recourse for it is, what is the professor's not going to get tenure?
No, I mean, there's a legitimate reason to contest that. I don't-
Well, we're contesting that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that it's in here that says that we can, that is a reason, because it could have all been fixed back when the faculty member says, wait a second, I uploaded these files. And had we known then what we know now, that that the faculty member was actually locked out, it could have been, wait a second, here, let's unlock it, let's see what happens, up there the files. We go on as if everything is fine. But that's not what happened.
And all Dr. Bohovy is trying to say, and what our position is to proactively protect both parties so we don't have to engage in what we're engaging in now. And because it can happen, these things can occur. We're not pointing blame to anybody. We're just saying this could happen. Let's protect ourselves in the future from having to go through this long process when it could have been corrected had we known what we know now earlier. That's it. And that we think that's of value to everybody involved. That's the point.
We're not looking at it going, well, I turned in my application last week and I just got this published this week and I want it to be in there. You know, I fully understand deadlines and stuff like that. And that's, in the past, that has never been permitted, right? What we're looking at is where someone actually uploaded something that is now hidden from view. And I agree with you, there should be a remedy for that. And the question comes down to how do we remedy that?
Is this now the subject of a grievance? And has it been remedied?
Not yet.
What step are you?
We filed for arbitration and are waiting to preserve the timeline and are waiting step 2 response.
Yeah, we're still waiting for step two response.
But even if we remedy this one case, the language is probably still necessary because Interfolio and any other electronic management system is going to have error. Either error as a result of programming or the error as the result of the interaction between humans and the interface, right? Let's have this check in place so that we don't have to wait 9 months to sort of get relief for somebody who is a very simple and easy to remedy error.
So we're just putting it back on the table. And I think the rest of it was pretty much the way we had it before. You know, I think that's our big. Otherwise, we like it the way we like what we come up with there. Any other questions?
So all of the changes that you made are in green?
Oh, we've got things all over here. Yeah, we've been going red. My thing is turned into a Christmas tree. I mean,
Okay. There.
yeah,
It
I
appears
think
that
we've,
they're in
I
green.
think we've,
Non-red,
yeah.
assume that non-red is us, I think. So green is us.
Well, no, I think
Blue
red
is-
was my original
Yeah.
thing, and now I think it's in purple.
Now it's in purple.
Yeah, now we're in purple. Yes,
So it's a Christmas tree.
and the other stuff is with the university.
Is there a way that when a faculty member is submitting documents, or uploading documents to Interfolio, that there's some record of when they do this? Can they take a screenshot, or can they, I mean, is there a way that they can preserve, hey, I just did this, here it is, and now I've got a record of what I did, so regardless of systems crashing, human interface error, whatever it is, I've covered my backside because I've
Well,
got a screenshot or some
in-
evidence that I did this.
in this particular case, we do have a screenshot of it, and we've got screenshots of it from Interfolio as well, where they said they uploaded these files, but it was locked, therefore it was never submitted. And you know, the question comes down to is, how do we remedy this? Because right now, you know, I don't want to be the one to tell the provost, hey, you wrote a letter that you got to take back, even though I would, you know, I would. But you know, it's.
But, all right, that aside.
But,
now,
yeah,
is there-
yeah, beside that,
Is there a record, I mean, does Interfolio show when the system was locked and who locked it?
No,
That's
Who
the
they can't-
question.
The who they can't, who is the
That's a
issue?
good
No, they don't actually track. My understanding
the
is-
Interfolio does not track that. Interfolio cannot tell us who locked it. Interfolio will tell us,
who has
A,
permissions for it.
that the person who's doing the application cannot lock it.
Does it tell you when it was locked?
No.
It does tell us when the submitted files were originally submitted.
Well,
I do have
it
that.
tells us when.
Or why? Or why it was, or any rationale why it was locked?
No, it doesn't
I
say
guess
that.
what
either.
we're
And it
kind
won't
of
tell us who
concerned,
locked it either.
we're kind of concerned that it's locked because the time has passed and now somebody's saying, oh, wait a minute, I submitted all this.
When, according to Interfolio, when submission time occurs, it locks everything. But if it is locked prior to submission time and prior to submission time, the only people who can lock it are the university, not the faculty member. If it is locked prior to submission time, then it shows up as being locked and not submitted.
Maybe it's just me
And-
asking, letting you know this, but it seems strange that we would lock a system before submission time. What would be, I mean, any aspect, even in your example, advisors can't submit, they don't have written papers. Fair enough, but why would we ever lock that out anyway? I mean, to any part of it.
in this hypothetical world, and I agree with you about James' example, but I think, I can't speak for him, all he was trying to do was to show that there could be some kind of human mishap on the administrative side. That's all we're suggesting. Not that it was intentional, not that anybody was gun for anybody. All we're saying is that the situation he described could occur. Knowing that it could occur, we want to prevent it from occurring or have a plan to address that. Because right now, I understand your position. We don't want it to be abused or misused or what have you. We respect and understand that fully. We're suggesting to you all that what has happened, in our opinion, could happen, and to help us create a rule for if it happens again in the future. That's it.
Yeah, how do we fix it?
It's often like a delete button, it comes up, you want to save the file, you want to delete it, and all of a sudden your mouse hits the delete. How do I get it back? Right? You didn't do it intentionally, but you know as well as I do, as soon as you do it, it's gone.
Not from the faculty side, but
And
from the administrative side.
therefore, I don't, I am in no way saying anybody did this, premeditatedly or something like that, but.
I think from our perspective, probably need to have some discussion with some of the other that might not be here
Yeah.
to respond to this.
Yeah.
We understand your position.
Okay, that's good to understand.
Okay. All right, that was the evaluation. All right, now, this Bailey's here. That means we can talk money, right?
No.
Now, come on, you say you can talk, it's not gonna do anything, but I mean, huh? Huh?
We are,
Yeah.
All right, this is our thing on. Did you get one of these? I gotta make sure I keep one of these in my hand. This is our thing on appointment that, we made some changes. If I want to call it that. I know a lot, some of the changes in here were suggested by, what was her name?
We have yours.
Lacey,
No,
Lacey,
Lacey?
Lacey, because she wanted the university to be capitalized, and I think there were a couple of orthographic omissions in here, and so some of that stuff goes down the back. Some of the other stuff in here is totally reworked. We added in a part on 8.4 on the second page where it says appointments, and it says any change between 9 and 12-month appointments must be consensual between the faculty member and the board. That's something we would like to suggest. On the next page, which is this table thing, we've been doing this table thing out of the old legacy language, and it hasn't changed in legacy language years. All right. And we've noticed that the university is in a certain way concerned about calculating AORs over summer and everything. And they've actually created a document that I was told was sent out to various departments. And what we have done is we have recalculated this table for a typical 3-year or 3 contact hour course on a summer appointment using things like number of weeks in appointment, which vary because here, instead of having a 13-week, we've got a 12.2 week, or we've got a 6.2 week, or we've got a 6.0 week. All right. And we have varied these. On the next page, you can see that it starts out at a 0.20 right? Whereas where that did not appear in the previous version, because everywhere else in the state it was a 0.25. But we've got 0.25 in here with the new, with the new timeframes. We also have a 0.266, which is the graduate level, current graduate level. And we have a 0.33, which would be the hopefully future graduate level. You know, when you find those big bags of money that, you know, that you carry around. And so what we've got is we've got it recalculated out for an average 3-hour course, supplemental summer appointment for those things which at the current time are either at FAMU or the ones that we would like because they're everywhere else in the state. Right? And that would just change the context of that table. And you can check the numbers in there, and that's, but that's not, what I want to call it, that's not something that is a modification of any money. All right? It's just based on that table that I saw that had been circulated around to the university. Then on page, this says page 15. In the previous one, there was something on, there was 8.5, which was reclassification of employees for a non-unit classification. There was also 28.6, which was class titles. And we just figured we'd bring them all together in the same spot.
So if you look at 28.4B,
Yes.
trying to read it, it's messing with my eyes. It's the font colors. But, is this saying, like, I guess there's only about, how many classifications in this bargaining unit, that title numbers? 4, 5?
No, you mean talking about the class code?
Yeah, like, whatever.
1, 2, or 3, 9, 2, or 1.
Yeah.
There's about, and for this, we're probably only 4.
Okay. So if we move somebody from one of those to another one of those, but they're still in the bargaining unit, does this allow them?
No.
Because I guess 8.5 is where somebody goes from in the bargaining unit to not in the bargaining unit. Got that. But 8.4 says this is just disputes over general classifications, but it doesn't say anything about, at least the way I'm reading, that somebody's been removed from the bargaining unit. They're just put in a different class code in the bargaining unit.
Within
I don't foresee that happening, but I guess it's
within
possible.
the bargaining unit, as far as class codes go, we've got an entire page of, I would say, somewhere around 50 or so different class codes, from the 9001 to the, the other ones that are in there. And all of those have been looked at by PERC. Now, every once in a while, university comes up with a new code, right? Such as we had one non-tenured research professors, right? Because over in the College of Agriculture, they wanted to have non-tenured research professors. We didn't oppose it. We don't have a problem with it. Okay. Over in the College of Agriculture, they came up with extension agents. Again, we don't have any problems with it. I think where it may be is there are going to be certain codes in there, such as associate in. Well, we probably got a secretary or two in there. That at some point, somebody may say, well, it's an in code, it's an in-unit code, but they're really not doing.
Well,
Exactly.
probably it was an incorrect classification to start out. And so
Right.
now when you
Right.
put the person in the correct classification, it will take them out of unit.
And that's that's where they scream at us.
But if it's wrong and we're correcting it, then what is the issue? Now, just like you said, you may have an assistant in that's a secretary,
Right.
and knowing full well it was classified incorrectly. So now we're correcting it, but correcting it would put that secretary, let's say, in an auspice category. That would take her out of this. So what, I don't understand what the issue is.
Well, there's no issue really with us. I mean, we just want to, I mean, it said down here that on a lot of these, if it's a new code, it's going to end up going to PERC, and we're going to agree on it before it ever gets up there. Normally, probably, right? And, but it's this particular part is already in 28.6, right? And all we're trying to do is pull it out of there and put it in here, because if we're going to talk about class codes, because 8.5 is reclassification of an employee. That's talked about here. So all we were trying to do is pull the two things together. And in the most part, it says that we're going to get a consultation out of it. If we think it needs that.
To some degree, you need to ask for this impact bargaining, and then if we don't,
Well,
reach,
that's,
I guess, an impasse over that, then we go to PERC over whether somebody should be
Mhm.
in a different class code inside the bargaining unit.
no, if the new class code that you have created
Is in or out.
is in or out. If it's somebody, what is it? We got two for distinguished faculty. And I think we got one person in one and one person in a different. Now, what makes them distinguished? You guys said that, So if the distinguished faculty at some point can look at it and say, no, this really should be over there, and this guy should really be as a A&P person. We'd go out and we'd have consultation over it,
All right, so if I'm
because,
boiling this down to, I guess there's two scenarios I see, well, there's three, but there's only two really that would result in us consulting over and going to PERC. One is where we create a new position. We think it's out, you think it's in. Generally speaking, that's the way it is.
we're going to PERC.
Probably go to
We'll,
PERC.
we'll sit down and talk before we go.
Yeah, and you can tell us how it's like the other positions or whatever, and we
Right.
can see if we can resolve. The other is where somebody's in and we change their position and now they're out. And so that's ultimately going to go to PERC as well, unless we can consult. Now, just what I want to make sure of, because all right, I get those two, they make sense to me.
Yeah.
The one that I want to make sure is that when we're just moving people around inside of a bargaining unit, but they're still in the bargaining unit, like they go from one class to a different class, but they're all still in your unit. We're not gonna.
No,
No,
We
really
got-
not
we-
intention.
No, because that's like
That's what,
somebody's promoted from an.
Exactly, we
assistant
would
to
be-
an associate.
fooling around with that all over the place.
yeah, okay, yeah, I got you, I
Right,
got
right. That's what.
you.
it's
Yeah,
All right. So those are your two scenarios that come up.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, I mean, we create a new one. It's got to go to PERC anyways. The question is,
For them to bless it.
is it going there for them to bless it or for them to make a decision?
Well, either way, they're probably going to make a decision, but if we both come in and say we're on the same page, they're more likely.
They're going to bless it no matter, we're going to agree with it.
So there really is no change, because that's what we're currently doing.
Right, that's
Right.
what I,
Yeah.
Right.
all right, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
But I guess if
The,
I'm
the, the
understanding,
red part in here, I will say is, this may be language stolen from, what is it, from that other place that we shall not. I'll tell you
Up the road,
the funny story I heard about that. I think that's this place, but, that particular part in there just kind of gives a wider view what actually would be a in-unit classification.
Right, I don't have the benefit of having bargaining agreement in front of me, but you're, if I'm understanding, you just took 28.6 and you
Yeah.
brought it in 28.4.
And it's green.
And that's the green.
Yeah.
So why is it 24?
Hmm?
Why is it 24?
Well, it should be 8.4.
Okay.
Oh, I see. All right.
Right.
You know,
It's a
my
typo.
my
Typo.
typist, who's really bad, you know, and he's losing his hair over this, you know, that he goofed that up. I mean, that should be 8.4.
So we have it.
Yeah, that should be 8. Maybe it's 8.5, I don't know.
Well, you
I'm
left
telling you.
8.5.
my type-
8.5,
my
I
typing
believe.
is really bad. What can I
Okay.
say? You know. I get that, and that'd make that bottom 8.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. And then you can check that out on the 28, you know, we're probably good in there.
All right. Any questions from our table?
Yeah, I want to go back to the calculation for the summer supplemental appointment.
Yes, sir.
It's already in the book. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to get to now. I mean, I can go through, I'll check the numbers and make sure. But you just wanted to conform to the 12.2, to the 6.2 and the 6.0?
What's in the old book? Number one is these two equations here were out. But what's in the old book is the old legacy language, because if you look at it,
Okay.
it didn't have a 0.2 in that table. It had a 0.25, right? It had a 0.3, I guess it was.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to actualize it based on a 0.2 or a 0.25 plus the graduate, which would be a 0.266 or a 0.333. And we were going to actualize it based on the weeks. You know, we're actually doing a 12.2 or a 6.2 or a 6.0, if I understood it correctly. And if we've got those in there, because we had a lot of phone calls from faculty this summer going, did they do this right? Well, if I got it in here, you know, I can go, yeah.
Well, we've been doing it for years, and they're calling now asking, is it right?
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, James, I'm sorry.
you know, you may have been doing it for years, but I don't know. I mean, I think the last time I had a summer appointment, it said 0.2. And
It's still 0.2.
Hmm?
It's still 0.2.
Did not enlighten.
I think in a broader way of looking at it, I can't speak for them, but they're paying more attention to the calculations and the things that someone like yourself would have hoped that they had always been doing. But I believe they may be paying much more attention to those calculations now than previously. Can't confirm that, but that's what I think. They're paying more attention to it.
and they're, you know, they,
And I asked you to agree with me because, you know, this calculation has been transformed from, you know, year to year. So we can clean it up and put in the numbers that would be put. So I'm okay with that because I see here where you got 12.2 and it is 0.20 FTE.
Mhm.
So then the formula doesn't change.
Mhm. And, you know, so all we were trying to do is bring it up to date, you know, so that, you know, next time that happens, I don't have to get another document from the provost office that says the same thing that should have been in here, right? Yeah. We didn't, and I think the numbers are right. I know. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know, and
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
And I think in here, you know, we might want to look at it because I think now, it went through the faculty senate about a mini semester or something like that over in the fall for allied health, which would be instead of a 15-week, it'd be 7.5 weeks or something like that.
It's new to me.
I know they were talking about having courses like that, which means we might want to put in, you know, a half of a regular semester.
But that wouldn't.
Well, no, that's not gonna affect this, because
Okay, yeah.
this is supplemental summer. This is supplemental summer. Oh, my bad. All right, my bad. Yeah, this is supplemental summer.
Now, the one thing that I did want to mention, I don't think it's been talked about, was the visiting and the consecutive years. I know, I think Provost had mentioned he wanted 3 instead of what's currently in there, which is 4.
Are we gonna make it a hard 3?
Yeah.
Because I don't have, I do not see a problem with a hard 3. Because what it said, what is it? It was gonna be 3 except under, what did it say? It basically had wiggle room in it. If we're saying 3,
What we submitted,
yeah,
it said 3.
three,
and then-
three, or, you know, except under special circumstances, or, you know, and special circumstances wasn't, what is it, wasn't defined. And, you know, that's, what is that? That's 8.
Well, the whole
Yes.
reason behind this was, if you got somebody for 3 consecutive years on a visiting appointment,
Mhm.
you make up your mind. You keep them or let them go. But to do it for 4, why?
Well, I could go 3 and say, well, can't we just bring him in at 2, you know, but, no, I totally understand what you're saying in there, and, yeah, it said a total of 3 consecutive years, except in rare circumstances. You know, you take out the except in rare circumstances, you know, if we're gonna make it 3, we're gonna make it 3.
I can, follow that, but I believe it is 3.
Mhm.
I don't know what the lyrics are, but I'll try to find out.
Yeah, I mean, 3 would, I don't think a 3 would be a problem in there, because I think that may have been where it was at in the past sometime.
I've only done 4.
Hmm?
I've only
Yeah.
done 4.
Okay. Because I know in the past we have, you know, there have been complaints about, why do we keep somebody around? Because it says a visiting appointment is one made to a person having professional qualifications, but not expected to be available for more than a limited time period. And we would rather have them in the bargain, we would rather have them as a tenure earning or a non-tenure earning, but not visiting. You know, I think that'd be beneficial to the university as well.
Anybody else? All right, well, I guess would you like to caucus, or is there, I don't know, with respect to Article 11, that we can give you a counter or respond to your counter today. That's gonna require.
Would it be worthwhile to set up a,
We have to do with regards to.
With,
Needs to
well,
be
yeah,
answered.
and
Yeah.
obviously Kate, I think there's some issues that Mr. Bailey sees that I don't see, but. Matt,
Yeah, we're still working on 9.
Mine,
Yeah.
yeah,
we're working on that. Do we want to set up another day?
maybe that would be
That would be a better use.
probably a better use than
Yeah.
having some caucus that.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not really gonna result. So I will leave it maybe to Candace canvas for Dr. Scott to, do we want to set one right now here today while we're here?
That would
If
be,
we can.
I think we
Yeah.
can.
Dr. Boston is sort of she is one of our indispensable parties. That when I was speaking of other administrators, we definitely need to have her input.
And are you all okay with Zoom or Zoom meetings?
Yeah. What, your June board meeting's on the 3rd,
You said
something
no.
like that, 2nd?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so we'd be looking, if we could do the week after that, that might work.
what we don't, well,
I think we were talking among ourselves, and I think we looked at Thursday or Friday afternoon.
June 9th or 10th?
Yes.
Yeah, June 9th or 10th. Mhm.
like the dates, but
Same time, afternoon.
Yeah, 2:30, something like that.
I would follow up with those who are not here. And you are okay with the Zoom?
for that one,
For one session.
for that one session,
Yeah, for that one session. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe we can get everything resolved in that one session.
Was it the 9th or the 10th?
I don't,
Yeah,
I'll
one of the
just
two.
give you both dates. just
Okay.
One of the two.
Understand.
Mhm.
All right.
Well.
I think so. I think we gotta respond to the 9th. Once we get it. All right, everybody.
I'm gonna copy this.
And I did get, but I didn't get your name.
I see.
Yeah, just take a picture, shoot. Or you take a picture and give us it, regardless. How you want that picture? Is that,
You got your name on it? Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you a bill for the paper. I mean.
okay, thanks,
Here.
thank you all,
You're welcome.
thanks.
Let me hear us. I shared the TAs or a proposed version of my platform. Yes, and appendix up here. So any sense of where you guys are? 'Cause
I haven't spoken to anybody. When did you send that, Friday?
I did, yes.
Okay, I haven't spoken to anybody today. I've been out of the office. Right here. But we can talk about.
Because, I mean, we're running out of school year for this.
VRS.
All right, we'll talk to Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Get that moving. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
At least it hadn't started raining yet, then I can tell.
Well, yeah, I mean.
All right,
we should
see
be able
you.
to get out of here
I
before
know,
now.
it just
Yeah,
popped up on my
yeah.
thing, and then it's like, uh-oh, it's like
Now,
everyone.
now, Herb, I heard a story, and I want you to confirm this for me or whatever. I heard that in the past, way back before I came here,
Oh, that was before me then.
that was before you, that